All right. How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. Um, all right. Yeah, retopologizing ahead. So exciting. Okay. So, you guys hear me okay? Hear me okay? Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. So I have his head ready. I went through last week just after the stream and I just renamed a bunch of stuff. So, like I said I was going to do because it's kind of boring to watch. I went through and I named a bunch of stuff. You can see arms high arms, arms high rivets, arms low, that kind of stuff. I went through everything. One thing I did do that's kind of weird is these boots, because these boots are going to get baked to the legs low, which include the legs and the boots. So you can see right here, this is the legs and the boots together. So even though it's underneath the boots folder, I named them all legs underscore blah, right? So that's why these are all named legs. And then they go all the way down here, all the way to this. So there's a whole bunch of high resolution pieces that are going to get baked to that low resolution boots. So one weird trick. Okay. I'm actually glad you guys chose to have me retopologize this head because I want to show you guys one weird trick, okay? And that weird trick is just retopologizing half of the head. Because a lot of you are like, how do I retopologize the interior of the mouth? Inside the workshop, when I did Kate, I actually retopologized her head, then I extruded her mouth interior after the fact. So that's one way you can do it. Now another way, so say you already have a mouth interior just like this guy. I turned off symmetry and I want to hide half of him. I'm just kind of guessing. I should probably, let me show the floor just to see where half of it is. And then I don't really necessarily need the high resolution of him, which is 1 point something million. I'm going to drop it one level and go to 462,000. Let me duplicate this head. Then I'm going to delete the lower and the higher resolution version of him. Okay, and then we're going to remove half. So I'm just going to guess something like this. And now what that does, here let's do delete hidden. What if your head is asymmetrical? Well, you probably couldn't do it this easily. You basically have to retopologize everything that is symmetrical and then hit that symmetry button inside of 3D Coat, then turn off symmetry and then fill in the rest is what I usually do when something is asymmetrical. Okay. I'm sorry your head is asymmetrical, Donna. Okay, I'm gonna turn on double. Everybody's head is asymmetrical. Another thing you can do is you could retopologize it symmetrically, and then if there's enough that is the same, like if it's just like the mouth is a little different, the eyes are a little different, you know, it's just a little bit asymmetric, you can retopologize one half, mirror it, turn off symmetry, and then re-snap and pose the side that's asymmetrical after the fact, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have half, and it's kind of interesting to look at half because it reminds me of those videos that show somebody swallowing a pill. It's like those 3D videos and they show the interior of the mouth. Anyway, what we want to do is we want to split the lips apart, okay? Because we can't really retopologize inside here because it's closed. So what we can do is go in here, turn on topological, change range to 3, and then just kind of pull, whoops, make sure I'm on the move brush, range 3, and then just kind of pull this away, apart. We can do it from the front, just so we can get inside there and retopologize it. Now the most important part is actually right in this crease. So it's going to be a little difficult, and you can use smooth. Crank the intensity, turn off RGB, smooth it. So because I want to kind of get it round, and then we can tuck it back in there. A nonconformist. We're just kind of smoothing this out a little bit. Yeah, the mouth corners are difficult. Probably the most difficult, if I'm being honest. And just like with Z-remesher, you know, when we do Z-remeshing, you want to have kind of your lips separate so it doesn't draw the topology weird. You actually want it to go around the corner like train tracks, I guess, right? So I want to make a nice round corner because, here, let's get a color in here and get our hard paint. Because we want to do an edge loop that is something like, whoops, something like, all right, what's going on? It's only putting one spot down for some reason. I don't know. What is going on with that? I'm on hard paint, freehand, no alpha. I don't know why it's letting me or not. Oh, there it goes. Weird. It's, oh, maybe because the Z intensity is 2. Okay, that's being weird. For some reason, is there backface mask? No. For some reason, it's only letting me go about that far. Make sure there's not a mask. I don't know what's up with that stroke. That's weird. That's really strange. Okay. Sometimes I think it's just easier to scope the mouth slightly open. It is, Sean, but sometimes you can't get your likeness with your character if this mouth is open. That's why I shut it, do everything I need to do, get the likeness that I need to get, and then open it after the fact. I just seem to like that. I don't have any. It doesn't matter because I don't have any. There's no image. There's no spotlight going on. So I'm not sure. It's like it's masked. See that? It's like this weird mask. I don't even know. Is there a layer? If there's a layer, I'm gonna freak. Okay, let's see. Layers. No. Usually it's layers. Layers are the bane of my existence. Okay, so now that we have this, let's just export it. Hey, what's up, Lucky? How's it going? Okay, so let's just turn off group. Go to OBJ. Oh, I put color up here for some reason. Okay, and then we're going to export this as an OBJ. So I'm going to go to my OBJ folder and call this head for retop. Okay, and then we'll go over to 3D coat. Anyway, what I was going to do is I was going to draw some lines around the inside of the mouth just to kind of show you a ring, how it's going to work like a ring. And I'll show you that here in a minute. Import, big reference, and head for retop. It's going to be big. Okay. Oh, that's not a head. That's a hand. Did I pick hand? Okay. Let me do a new. Don't save. Import. I must have picked hand instead of head. Where is it? Did it not finish? Let me do it one more time. Export. There it is, head for retop. Huh, okay. There it is. I'm just not seeing it. I'm just blind today. Okay. Let's hit this all and the retop, and we're in business. Okay. So we have half our head, and typically what I'll do is I will start either starting to go around the eyes or around the mouth. And what you can do is you can think of the head almost like a box in a way, and the poles, I really wish I could draw on this thing. I don't know why it won't let me draw. But the poles are usually here and here, and then around the chin. So if you think about it like a box, then there'll usually be a pole here and a pole here. And then when it gets to the chin, there'll usually be one here and here, and then connect somehow. And then sometimes here and here, because this chin is like a box. And then for the mouth, it's usually like two, like one here and one here. And then the cheek will have one here. And then the eyes, it just depends on where they're going to end up. But usually it's like a box. There's four all the way around like that. And then we'll work through it. And then the nose again, like two here, and then maybe two out here. And then some inside the nostril. It looks like he's got the chicken pox or something. Measles. Okay, so that's just kind of what I have in mind. Sometimes what I follow is the hippodrome. Let's see. Okay, so this hippodrome, he has two. I don't know where the bigger one is, but this is the one I usually follow because it has the poles in the corners of the mouth. Let me see if I can get a bigger version of this. And this is what I talk about inside the workshop, this layout. Let me see. You used to be able to click on that guy. Because I've seen bigger versions of this. I just can't remember where it is. Anyway, you can kind of see the poles that I put around the eye has these two, and then the one on the cheek I was talking about. And then you can see how the ribbon goes up and over the nose and back down this way. But the thing I don't follow as far as this is concerned is sometimes I will continue to wrap this around the chin. I won't take it straight down because then you have to continue it down the neck. So I don't always do that. For the year, no, Sam, that's lifetime. So 99 is lifetime for the amateur version. Yeah, Sean, they did. Poor sirloin. So this guy's name is Brian Tyndall, and he works at Pixar, or at least he did at the time when he wrote this. I think he's still there. I'm not sure, but anyway, he's like really particular about his layout, and we tried to follow this as closely as possible. This is for film, but it also works for games. We just don't make it this dense. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't take it that far. So anyway, we're going to use this as a guide, kind of. It's in my head already, so I don't really go back and look at that too much. Hey, what's up, Mark? Okay, so that being said, let's start at the eyes. And what I like to do with the eyes is, again, remember when I built out the inside of the armor shoulder, I would make like those 4 squares together and then kind of stretch them out. Well, with the eyeballs, I usually do 6 instead of 4. Or maybe 8 sometimes. I'm just gonna kind of get it going here and see what happens, because every eye is different as far as like How long versus how tall, it's going to be a little different. But I do like to have one right in the middle. So we'll kind of look at it like this. And then come out to here. We'll do a couple quads there. And do the same thing inside. So you'll notice that I do things a little bit differently when it comes to... Yeah, Brian's real name is Hippiedrome. That's what his parents named him. Okay, so you'll notice that a lot of people will do like a strip of polys all the way around. The reason I don't like to do that is because I like to keep my poly count even. And you'll see here why. You can see how these colored bands, the upper and lower eyelids match as far as counts. Okay, so there's the exact same amount of polys on the bottom as there is on the top. Same with the mouth, it matches. And that's kind of a big deal when it comes to rigging because it just helps the skin weights quite a bit when you get the bones happening in there. Okay, so let's see. Just gonna go like this. And we'll do one more here. Okay, and now I can just bring this all the way out to the edge and work my way around. And on the end here, you'll notice that I'll make a quad like this. Same with this end. I'll make a stretched out quad, which will create a pole here and here. And I'll do the same thing here. Okay, and it'll kind of make a natural just kind of ring around the eye. And that'll give us our base to start with. We can just scooch these out a little bit. And then now we have even on the top and the bottom. Move this out, maybe not that far. I'm just right clicking. You can right click and nudge these verts. But the difference is between that right clicking versus the brush is the brush has a bigger fall off. With right click, you have to be right on the vertex to make it work. Okay. Now what I can do is kind of go around and make the next ring, the next layer. And instead of dropping straight down, I'm going out this way. Because I'm going to make a quad that kind of looks like that. Same with over here. And then I'll just kind of nudge these around. Probably make this one closer and this one closer. And then this is going to become the eyelid. Okay. So this is kind of the steps in starting to block out an eye this way. This is what I usually do anyway. Yeah, it's huge. That's a huge honker. It's like right up in the camera. It's like, geez, it's sirloin. Okay, so then I will just continue around. Making these rings. And if there's see how he's got like this lower eyelid? If he's got something like that, you'll want to kind of stick inside that valley to support what's happening. And then this next one, I'm trying to look and see, because the reason I'm keeping it so low like this is because then I can always come in and cut the lines in after the fact. Yep. It's like, what's that smell? Okay, let's go further out this time. And this is where the poles are going to be. Okay. I'm just going to look at this and see. Yeah, he's got the pole. See how much more resolution these have? But the poles are just kind of on the brow line and then right in the middle of the nose and then on the cheek and back. So there'll be a pole here. And sometimes the puzzling works and sometimes not so much. So you have to kind of repuzzle sometimes. Let's see. I think I want one more ring. Maybe I don't. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. Trying to remember what I do. I swear it's different every single time. Because this is what I don't want right here. So let me delete this one. Whoops. A 100,000 triangles? Are you kidding? Is that how much it is? 100,000 triangles? Holy cow. Is it supposed to be like animation ready? Is that their real-time asset count? Jeez Louise. It's Hippie-drome. So, yeah, right here, Hippie-drome. I also included in the workshop under the topology section. Thanks, Sophia. How's it going? Okay. So now we can start making these polls. And 2 4K maps. Oh my goodness. Man, who has that kind of luxury? I guess if you're making like The Witcher or something, I don't even know what their poly counts are. Okay, so here's the poll. Now I can start going up like this. $100,000. So if they said 100,000 polys, that's 200,000 tries. That's just ridiculous if that's the case. That's ridiculous. Okay. Let's do the next poll. Now his face is kind of unique where it's like so small up top and so wide at the bottom. I don't necessarily think I need that 5th pole right there. And I try to avoid poles if possible, but what I want to do is, here I'll just draw the stroke right here. I want a band to come around here, and then sometimes I'll take it down like this, but most of the time I'll take it around like this. Three 4K maps, 2 for the character and 1 for the base. Donna, did you? I'm actually modeling. I'm modeling that model because Luigi drew this really awesome version of him, and I couldn't help myself. I had to model it, so that's what I'm doing for my Monday Pixelogic live streams right now. Okay, so nice and even quads as much as I can, even as much as I can get them even. And just kind of nudging my way as I go. Oh, you saw it? You saw it? Thanks. If you guys want to see where I'm at with him, I can load him up really quick. So here's the art. Well, hold on a second. I can't open the art here. What? Where is he? Did it not save? Hold on a second. Gotta look at my quick saves. I don't know. Did it not say? Oh, it's soloed. That's why. John Wick. Luigi. Let me see. I gotta make sure this is in dates. Yeah. Oh, this is the one I'm doing past the sculpt on. I wonder if this crashed on me and it didn't save it. Ah, great. I'm gonna have to model this out. Sometimes that happens. Gosh. They haven't updated the briefing. Let me show you just the really quick the image. Did I save it in here? No. So here's the the Luigi. Yeah, here's the cyberpunk that he did of Keanu Reeves. It's really cool. Isn't his name like Silver Arm Dave or something? Something silly. I know, Keanu's everywhere. Everywhere. Okay, so can you see kind of this plane going down his nose? I'm going to utilize that and do some points and faces right here. I know, I'm a huge Witcher fan, and I met, so two of the character guys, I think they were character guys, they were at the Zebra Summit last year, and I got to talk to them for a little bit, and they couldn't say much, but I knew they were working on something awesome. Okay, let's see. Yeah, free time. Who has free time? All right. And we'll do the same thing on the bottom here. Just kind of wrap it around. Cyber Chris, I did not. Was that an E3? That's hilarious. Okay. Now I need to figure this out. I might do this. No, that's not going to work. I'm trying to figure out a good place to make a pole on this nose, because it's going to need one. I might have to put a triangle in there, because this isn't working out. These are too stretched. Oh, I haven't seen that statue. Very cool. Okay, let's see here. I think, Delete this one. To hug his bikes. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to connect this and see what I can do with it. See what I can do to make sense. That kind of makes sense, and that kind of makes sense. There we go. And then something like that. Okay. I might put one more through here just to get the silhouette of his nose better. Like right here. And then slide this one up. So another thing, I showed Brendan the retop of the chest again, and I didn't mention it, but he had me cut in some more, just little tiny details I was going to show you. So you guys can see these. So I made a couple more triangles right here, and I cut in this one and this one on both sides just to give this ring a better contour. Same with this one. I cut in this and this just to give that ring a better contour as well. Okay. Really lucky. I got to check it out. That's funny. Oh, man. Whoops. I didn't mean to do an ad split. Okay. Thanks for your patience, guys. I hope this isn't too boring. Retopology for me is just, it's therapeutic, but it's kind of like watching paint dry, you know? Okay, now in the nostril, I'll usually do something like this. Just put a square in there, and then just kind of go like this. And like this, come on, there we go. Okay. I know you guys need to learn it. I know you do, which is why I'm happy to show you. Okay, so let's see, split, I'm gonna split this here, and then here, and there we go. Nostril hole, nostril. Okay, I'm glad to hear it, you guys. I'm not glad to hear that you're struggling, but I'm glad to hear that you want to learn this stuff, because it is important for sure. Okay. So I'm putting another pole here, and then another one here, right there, and then another one here, just like a box, closing this right up. And then that looks like a good place for a triangle. Okay, not too bad. Okay. If you set it to quad only, it sometimes helps find the quad. What are you talking about? If I set this quads only, huh, I've never played with that. I'll have to check it out. Okay, I'm going to slide these down because I want more even quads through here. This is getting a little stretched for me. So let's even it out. Okay. And then we will, this is the smooth brush, smooth these out a little bit. Okay, now there's a lot coming off of the nose right here. A lot of detail coming off the nose. I'm going to spread these out so they're a little more even across here. And I'm going to think about how the quads are going to continue down around the lips, and I have to match it coming down around here and then around the jaw. So, and I'm actually I forgot to add the loop that goes around the mouth and up around the nose. I got to add that in there. So I'm going to have to pull these out and fix it. So let me do that really quick. And never be afraid to delete stuff and do it again. Don't be afraid. It's okay. Let's see. So I'm going to put one. I'm going to make that ring that goes around the mouth. Let me see. So it's going to come through here. I want to add more geometry right through the nose right here, just so I have more. So when doing a retop, you want to make sure none of the high poly is poking through right. Yeah, for the most part, it's okay if it does, but as a guideline, yeah, you don't want it to poke through if you can help it. And you can, so I have the, let me see. The bias right here is set to 3, but you can have it poking through kind of like this a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. But I mean, it's okay if it does. Hair takes a million tries for me. Yeah, for sure. I'll be doing the hair soon too. Well, if I ever get to it, geez. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of sneak this up through here. If it'll do it. Okay. Sometimes you have to grab quads and say, all right, this is where I want you. You're not listening to me. Okay. And then we'll grab this one. And now we're all connected. Okay. Whoops. Sometimes quads, they don't always connect. Yeah, Corinne knows. Corinne, I remember that first retop you did of the back of that lady's hair. I'm just like, man, why didn't I tell you beforehand that you should plan ahead and not have so many hairs sticking out everywhere? I'm sorry. I should have caught it. Okay, so I'm going to redo this too right here. Now that we have some different things happening. We'll put a pole right there. There we go. Smooth these guys out. You know, even it's crazy because even though this smooth brush is almost the lowest strength it can be, it's still fast. It's all I think about when I make hair. Yep. It taught you well. I'll never do that again. Oh, that's funny. Yep, flyaway strands. Unless you have flyaway strands that are like super intentionally there, you know, like one that you're like, okay, I'm gonna retop that guy. Okay, points and faces. Oh, that's not what I want. Come on. No, I'm gonna do this. All right, we're gonna continue these loops around. Come on. Let's get this brush and these are all over the place now. Let's even them out. And I want to bring this closer, this smile line. So the reason why you want to have a band of polys that comes around here and goes across the top of the nose is because it will help in animation and deformation. When your character goes to smile, it will just make those creases, like when you smile, like right here. So if you feel with your finger when you smile, you can feel, it's kind of hidden by my goatee, but you can feel the flat spot between your smile line valley and the end of your mouth. There's like a big flat spot. So your smile line does not connect to the corner of your mouth. I've seen it happen where students or new modelers will actually attach those two things together and it just looks odd. Don't do that. Yep, hair cards. Hair cards are just as big of a pain in the butt, if not more so, than retopping flyaways, in my opinion. It can get, it's because then when you're just grooming hair cards at that point. Just ask gosh, I'm trying to remember, Mike Black. He did one not too long ago with the hair cards. And yeah, ask him how fun it is. The last time I did hair cards was on a game called Jabberwocky with Avalanche. That was a long time ago. Every character should be bald, just like me. It's right. It's true. Okay, so with this one, again, I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to go like this. Dunk, dunk. Okay, I'm done. No, we can't do that. We got to make rings. We got to make rings around the mouth so it will deform properly. And I'm going to make the same poly count on the other side of these lips as I have on this side. And then we'll go around here and then here. You do modification to the insert brush. Okay, let's see. So here's our poles. And then our ring going around like this. Okay, let me delete some of these so we can connect them properly. Hey, what's up, Mike? Your ears are burning. Hey, Mike, I'm sorry I haven't replied to your response yet. I've just been, my life's been crazy. Crazy. Okay, let's see. So we're supposed to list my house tomorrow. It's supposed to go on the market tomorrow. I'm a nervous wreck. Don't know what's going to happen. People are going to come in here and go, who lives here and why would I want to buy this? No, it's actually looking pretty nice. My wife has done a fantastic job getting it ready. Thanks, Allison. All right, let's see. Points and faces. Boom. Okay. Looks like a good place for a quad. Oh, nice. Okay, trying to figure this out. Maybe one here. So the quad, or the pole, is going to occur there. And that's what I want right there. Okay, looks like I got a tripole here. Allison, oh, I know. So our home's only like 3 years old, so it's nearly new. So I hope there's nothing that they're gonna go, could you do this and that and this before we move in? Yeah, no. Okay, and then the other pole will be on this side right here. Will the stylized face anatomy lesson come before or after you move? Okay, you guys, I have an idea for this. I have an idea. Oh, awesome, Angelo. So Thomas, I have an idea, and because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been trying really hard to get this anatomy thing going, and I've started to make. Well, I've spent a lot of time making slides. I wanted to do it all nicely, like I did with the hand lesson, because I thought the hand lesson turned out pretty good. But the more I do the face lesson, the more I'm realizing that everything. How am I trying to put it? Everything depends on everything else. So like the eyes depend on the nose depends on the mouth, and all of its locations, and the face and the head. So I'm like trying to break it up and be organized with it and say, okay, let's talk about the skull and then the jaw and then the neck and the relationship of all of those. And then it starts getting into where the ear lives and where the nose lives, and then all the rules that happen with all of that stuff. So I'm almost thinking what I should do, and I want to hear your guys' feedback on this, is I think what I should do is pull up, just get an entire folder of examples of really well done stylized heads and point out like all of the tips and tricks and where everything lives and all of that kind of stuff, and what to look for, how to build your faces that way. And because I want to go all the way on either side of the spectrum, like really simplified heads and very like stylized, pushed, stretched heads, kind of like Sirloin's here. He's got this gigantic chin. Even though he has this huge chin and this huge nose, the rules still apply, right? And yeah, that book is really good, The Mad Art of Caricature, if you haven't seen it yet. So I've just been kind of thinking about doing the face lesson like I would do kind of the sort of live streamish, where I'm just like pulling up things and talking about them and pointing out and doing drawovers on everything and just kind of saying, okay, look for this, look for this, look for this in your face. Make sure, this is there and this is there. So, yeah, that kind of stuff. So, and then I want to break it down into just the nose itself and the lips and, the eyes and what to look for in each of those pieces and parts. But right. So yeah, show the block out and then the process and what to look for and then how to compare. Because honestly, the biggest part of just making characters in general and comparing them to concepts in general is relationships between the nose and the mouth and the eyes and all that kind of stuff. And it's really cool because in that Mad Art of Caricature, they talk about the relationships of all the facial features within the shape of the head. Like the head can define what a person's head shape looks like, and you can exaggerate like the forehead or the chin or whatever. But then on the interior, you can also exaggerate like how squished all of the like the eyes, nose, and mouth are, or how far apart they are, or the distance between the nose and the mouth can be really long, and the mouth can be small, and the lips can be huge, and just all these different variables. But all of that being said, as far as like the landmarks and where they live on the face, you can always trace it down to how the skull actually fits underneath the stylized head, and what to look for, and how to make your stylized character believable, even though it's being caricatured, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you guys are cool with that, I can get it. I could probably rock it out pretty fast if I do it that way. But if I do like all the slides, it's just taking me forever, and I keep getting hung up. And I kind of freeze, to be honest. I'm just like, oh man, I'm to this point. What do I talk about first? Do I talk about, and then I just stop, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't. But then when I look at some really good stylized characters, I'm like, oh, I could talk about the cheekbone. I could talk about, how the ear lives right above the jaw, and how the jaw flows and comes down here, and that triangle in the neck. And, you can kind of see it all across all these examples of really, really good stuff. So, okay. Oh, Angelo, that reminds me. It's the creature box reward thing. So they gave me one. I asked for 3 and they gave me 1. So I'm gonna buy 2 more and give it out to you guys. So don't let me forget. Yeah, the winners of the creature box. I still have yet to divvy out the prizes. I'm horrible. I'm horrible about that. So anyway, it's coming, but I have them. So you guys are all. If we miss anything, you can always feedback. Absolutely. You know what? I kind of thought about doing it live so you guys can ask questions so I don't miss anything. It's just another thought. But then sometimes doing things live goes way too long. And so if you watch it back after, say, pretend you just bought the course and the live anatomy sessions were already done and you missed it. It would still be good information, but I just wonder if it would be like, if it would just go too long. The thing I like about how the lessons in the current workshop is they're short, sweet, and to the point. And that is kind of what I pride myself on as far as the workshop is concerned. And when I do live stuff, it just kind of gets a little long in the tooth, if that makes sense. Well, Lucky, it's not. I don't think it's that they're cheap. I think it's that they didn't understand that. That's what I meant. I mean, I could probably go back and ask for more, but I want to keep my friendship good with those guys and not, ask for more, if that makes sense. Because they went above and beyond to give feedback to all of those pieces, and that was just like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And so going, hey, could I get more? You know what I mean? It's like yeah. You love the live stuff. You always watch it back. Usually see some of it at work and the rest at home. I just feel like I'm getting my money's worth with the long. Okay. Well, I see, this is exactly the stuff that I want to hear, you guys. I really appreciate it, because I don't know. There's a lot of people that are just like, nope, just my attention span's so dang short. I don't have enough time to watch it all. Just give it to me in short bursts, So, oh, Angela, no, I'll give it to you for sure. No worries. No worries. And I'm trying to get some buttons and T-shirts and things like that made that I think would be fun. I think it'd be fun to do some sayings on them too, like beware the warbles or whatever, just something fun like that. Never go 100% white or 100% black. That could get bad though. People could read into that going, "Oh, that's not good." That just means when I talk about colors and coloring your models, never go 100% white and never go 100% black. Because yeah, you'll either lose your shadows or blow out your highlights. But I think it'd be fun to have some t-shirts with some sayings, no red wax. Switch the camera back. When you said that, I'm like, is my camera? I was totally expecting it to be on my face. Switch the camera back. Oh man. that made my face go red. Shoulder hats. Yeah, I think the red wax thing might be Ashley's. A cubed. No red wax. All out Geo. Man, you guys have them all. All the Shanisms. Okay, so can you sort of kind of start seeing the two rings here? Hand meat, yep. That could be horrible too, Thomas. I gotta be careful. They could easily be taken out of context. Yep, and you're such a nerd. If you guys know what nerbs are, I used to call people nerbs. So we have the rings. I can actually show you rings now with the split edges. So I have a ring that goes up and over the nose right here. And now I have a ring that goes around the mouth right here and around the eyes right here. And that's exactly what you're looking for. That's the best one. No tries in my bendy bits. Oh man. Oh, that's hilarious. We can all go to the ZBrush Summit and sport our new shirts. Keep your tries right out of my bendy bits. Part-time homework per lesson. Oh, like Proco does it, right? Oh, towards a final like schoolism? That's a good one, Flash Nation. Oh, man. Okay, so I think I am just going to do the Hippie-drome way and bring all of my topology straight down the chin like this instead of curving it around. Just because he has such a ginormous chin. Yes, Scott, you got it. Nerbs. Nerbs. Oh, man. That guy from Revenge of the Nerds. What was his name? Ogre? It's probably too old of a movie for you guys. But there's some people in here that are old as me. Remember Revenge of the Nerds. Okay, you know what? So when I get to here, what I can do is I can do the quad, just a gigantic quad, and this may or may not work. Let's see, I don't think, yeah, it's too round. I'm gonna have to cut it even more. There we go. 20-second delay. You guys have them all. Do you have a question, Rick? I can't say your name. Wicked Fool. I like your name. Wicked Fools could be dangerous. So I'm going really, really broad here because otherwise I'd be like line at a time, you know, retopologizing this. And then I want another pole right here. So I'm going to try and... you also want, when you're doing retopology, you want a face mask. Okay? John Goodman. That's right. Oh, you're one of the ones as old as me. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Oh man. So do you remember Revenge of the Nerds with Booger and Ogre? I don't think Booger's name was Booger in Revenge of the Nerds. That was from Better Off Dead. And then you can cut in the lines like this. And it keeps it nice and even. Yeah, don't forget to turn off spotlight projection. Dang you. Again. Slide edges. That's how we can make retopo fun, right? Yeah, that's Neil. I've got to get Neil in here. So, and I got to do something for that guy. So Neil is the guy who always posts the links during my Pixelogic live streams. Yeah, super nice guy. He just he can't afford the course right now, and I got to figure something out for him. We got to get him in here. Yep, there's a lot of you like Scott Briscoe and Sean and Mike. All you guys, you help out so much. I appreciate it dearly. Donna, all you guys, girls. Okay, that's not going to work. I need more. So let's slide edges. Split rings. And that's a lot. Yeah, it's... Sometimes I wish I could just not charge as much, too. But then, again, I think if I charge less... It's... Okay, this is really strange. And it's just from my experience. From doing, you know, like the Pluralsight, the Frog course, and things like that. The less you charge, and this is really bizarre, but it's true. The less you charge, it becomes less of an investment to people, and so the students aren't as invested. So they're not as good of students, to be honest, and they don't put in the work, they don't put in the time. So the price point kind of keeps students invested as well. That's one of the reasons why it's priced what it is. Have you met him, Lord Humongous? He seems like a cool guy. Oh, you did? Are you kidding? That would be the coolest thing ever. Better Off Dead is one of my favorite movies of all time. It was like, yeah, it's absolutely one of my favorites. And I think I was talking about it either in the Pixelogic live stream or I'm pretty sure, but yeah, like John Cusack's he's not the proudest of that film. Right? Yeah, Corinne, it's so true. If like I hardly get anybody like with my frog from Gumroad. I get a few people saying, you know, check out my work, and that was more of like a follow along course and less of a, you know, this is how you make 3D characters course, which I don't think you get nearly as much out of. Hubby has a mentor and he says that people pay stupid money and then don't even watch the course. Oh man. I've also been thinking about, I kind of want to call it an accelerator program or a mentor program. I've asked a few pros in the industry like Tyler Bulliard and a few others to see if they would be interested in doing paid mentorships where you could, you know, just per hour, just say, hey, could you check out my model to get a little bit more of an in-depth feedback session. I think it would be pretty good. Not quads. is. But I was wondering if you guys would be interested in something like that. Oh, are you kidding? Monique showed up wearing the original green sweater. I tell you something's wrong. Oh man, it's so great. You don't really see her in many other. I have to look her up on IMDb to see what else she's been in. I'm sure she's been in some other things. Okay, another thing you can do here is, and I usually don't do my retop like this, just kind of line by line, but interested if I can afford it. So, and I think I would charge reasonable rates. Well, I would ask them what they would want to charge, but to make it worth it for both them and the students, and because what you would do, what it would kind of force you to do is like wait until your character is to a certain point where you're just like, okay, I'm ready to show this. You know, I'm going to spend a little money to get some really good feedback, and then it's like, all right, let's show like Michael DeFeo. It's time to show Michael DeFeo because this character is kind of in his wheelhouse, and I really want to know what he would have to say about it. Something like that. So I'm going to have to figure this out as far as. So I think I want to have a. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do a point right here. This chin kind of got out of control, and we're starting to lose it right here, and I need to continue it over. So I'm just going to draw these in, and then you can just draw across. This is a really fast way to do retopology. You just hit enter. It goes bonk. There you go. Yes. So Corinne, I'm thinking that they would just be like available for you to ask them whatever you wish. If it's like, hey, what do you think of this portfolio? Or hey, even if it's just like career advice or, you know, because I want to get a variety of people from different backgrounds. Like say Joe Mena from, you know, he works for Sideshow Collectibles. What he would look for in say a collectible portfolio if he's going to look for, you know, to hire somebody to make collectibles, or you know, like Tyler would be more on the look dev side for films. Michael DeFeo would be more like traditional sculpture, character design sort of stuff. Carlos Ortega with Bobby Chew. No, I have to check that out. Yeah, and Thomas, I would probably put myself into that pool of people too. Just if you like want a more in-depth review from me for like say you're doing a game portfolio or something like that. Yeah, career advice, anything like that. Has anyone figured out how to get ZBrush to remember the last folder you loaded a Z tool out of? It used to do it before 2019. I don't know. I've never had that problem. Honestly, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Okay, that's kind of weird. Hey, what's up, Sean? Oh, will the face deform properly with so few loops around where the wrinkle patterns? Do you plan to retopo patterns before you start? Sorry if you covered this. I'm late. Hey, no worries, Sean. So basically what I do is I get the rings in there, and then I get the entire thing laid out how I want it. And then where the geometry is actually going to deform the most, I will add more rings so that it will give the character more geometry to push around, if that makes sense. Sometimes I take the mouth ring one more ring out, like one more level out from here. But I think with this one, it'll be fine. But yeah, so I would go through eventually towards the end and just cut some more rings in here like this. Okay. When I went to school, there were all about heavily designed physical portfolios, resumes, and stuff. So the person that I really want to get to help us all out with portfolios is Gavin Golden, because Gavin Golden he works for Insomniac, and he has a soapbox when it comes to portfolio stuff. And he always goes to GDC and talks about portfolios, and he does portfolio reviews for free at GDC. And yeah, he just has a lot to say on the matter. So I think he would be a fantastic person to at least interview. He has agreed to an interview already. I just need to get it done. And I want to talk to him about portfolios specifically. And then there are a handful of others. There's like, I'm trying to, Zach from Disney Feature. I want to talk to him about what he looks for in feature portfolios. I'm trying to think. I might put a triangle right here. Let's see. So one of the things that Gavin says is, don't make a demo reel. You're not an animator. Okay? And I wholeheartedly agree with that, because I think I am going to do a quad like this right here, because it's not really going to deform or move around too much. Anyway, you're not an animator, you're a character modeler. At least if you're trying to get a job as a character modeler, you want to show off your character modeling skills. You want to show the company that you can do the work. That is the reason behind a portfolio. That's the whole thing, is you trying to show them that you can do what they need you to do. If it doesn't play into that, then you're not doing it right. You know what I mean? So that's why you want to show wireframes. That's why you want to show your textures. You want to show your UVs, and then not just a high resolution model on ArtStation. That is not going to get you a job doing game characters. That might get you a job doing collectibles or like marketing shots or something like that. And Gavin will be the first to tell you that he's like, I'm so tired of seeing high resolution characters only in people's portfolios. It's fine to have a few. It's even fine to have most of your characters be high res, but make sure you have at least one or more that shows that you know how to do retopology and make a final asset. That's what they want to know that you can do. So you just need to show it. Some studios want to see your top 3 characters. Others want to see every piece of your art ever made for your whole life. Sean, that is so true. Show me your process. Gosh. Oh man. And the worst, honestly, is art tests. I loathe art tests. If you're going to hire somebody and they have enough in their portfolio that you can see if they can do the job or not, maybe you might have a question if what you want them to do is slightly out of their wheelhouse, right? So say if they're like, I applied for an environment job one time at Sucker Punch up in Bellevue, Washington. They were working on Sly Cooper, and I had a character portfolio, and they're like, okay, we love your characters, but can you do environments? I was kind of, I was a little desperate at the time. I was just looking for whatever I could get. And then the environments in Sly Cooper were so cool. They're cartoony. I'm like, yeah, let's try it. And they're like, okay, can we give you an art test just to try it out and see what you can do? And I'm like, yeah, sure. They're just like, because your portfolio is just characters. We want to make sure that you can do environments. And I said, sure. So I did it and they flew me out, and I didn't get the job, and I'm not sure exactly why, but I think they were still, even though they really liked my art test, they were still like, yeah, you're a character artist, and I don't know if you'll be happy here doing environments. And then come to find out, that's they made Infamous. So I'm gonna do a poll right here around this jawline. Okay, hey, what's up, Ariel? How's it going? So yeah, they made Infamous, and now that then as soon as that came out, I'm like, oh, that's why. And they couldn't tell me that they were working on a realistic or game that had realistic environments and not Sly Cooper cartoony environments. And they were right. I wouldn't have been happy making realistic environments. Yeah, that's not my bag. So let's see. This weird feeling I went through once I got a bit better, watching these amazing 3D characters and having this thought: this is not game ready. Yep, you can think you can if especially if it's on ArtStation and you want to look for ArtStation people that have like Marmoset viewers, because then you can see the wireframe. And what is the worst is if people make their wireframe out of a Z. It's obviously a Z meshed mesh, right? They didn't even take the time to do retopology. They just did a Z mesher or even a decimated mesh and just slapped it up there. And those guys are they're really good, but they're kind of going for the likes and the follows and stuff like that, which is fine, but it's not going to get you a job. You're so tired of doing art tests. Have you been doing them, Ariel? So what I was going to say about art tests is if they can see that you are already, just from your portfolio, that you don't necessarily need to do an art test, then that's when I really get irritated, because it's like, why are you making me do an art test? It's essentially doing what I've done in my portfolio all over again, but under more pressure, and I'm not getting paid for it most of the time. You know what I mean? It's like either you pay me for this, or I'm just going to send you pictures of it, because I'm not going to send you the asset, because I've actually seen art tests used in the game. Like they'll take the assets from art tests and put them in there. And that's against all, yeah, it's just bad. And then some people will pay you for art tests, and that's fine too. But sometimes they'll give you like completely unreasonable deadlines just to see how you perform under these tight, stressful deadlines. And I don't think that's very fair either, because they put so many people through that, and people are looking for jobs. They don't necessarily have time to sit and do art tests. So it just makes me grumpy. Donna, that's totally true. Can it be to make sure that you did what's in your ArtStation and not someone else? Yeah, that's for sure. Especially if you're new and like you don't have the experience, and you're kind of unsure of if the person has the chops to do what they need to do, then or if they're very, very, very close to being able to do what you want them to do, and you just want, but something about it, you just slightly unsure. But I guess the blanket art test, just like, yep, we just give art tests. You know what I mean? Like, I think Naughty Dog just gives art tests to everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, they just give you art tests. And it's just, I don't know. It's weird to me sometimes. How come you're feeling sad, Ariel? If also, if you'd like, and if I have time, if you're doing an art test before you send it to the company, you can feel free to send it to me if you want. If you want feedback before you send it off, because I know that's just, it's just kind of a super stressful experience. A 6-stage interview process. That's too much. Yeah, the Sucker Punch had a very grueling process. That's probably that was probably the longest portfolio process I'd ever been through. Avalanche wasn't too bad. I have way too many. Well, it's fine. It's fine. Because I feel like I don't get the level for get the job. So are you saying you don't feel like you get to the level of the level that they're looking for? Yeah, if you want, like I said, if you want to send them to me and say, "Hey, this is for an art test," I'd be happy to take a look and kind of give you an idea of what it would take. All I can do is give you my opinion, but what it would take to get to the level that they're possibly looking for. You know what? I think I'm going to. There's too much geometry underneath this chin, so I'm going to res it down a little bit. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. No, you're not too old. Stop it. Too old. That's called discrimination. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of some of this geometry underneath here, and we're going to turn it. And I need to avoid some of these pulls. So I have a pull here that I want to get rid of. And then we'll just turn this geometry maybe right here. And how do you turn it? So you go like something like, let's see, like this. So you start by kind of turning it and go like this. So you do kind of a pinched quad down like this, and then another one next door, and then put a little quad inside. If that makes sense. Also, and Sean can attest to this, networking is almost more important than your portfolio, which I think is why the community here is going to be so beneficial in the future when you guys start getting jobs. And I think that's why I make the student challenges, and why I try to get you guys to participate in those challenges, and then bring in professionals, and then hopefully later on there'll be some people that'll go, "Hey, we're looking for a character modeler," and the person will be like, "Oh, this modeler modeled my concept really well. Let's go see if they're available," that kind of thing. And go to expos like CTN and the ZBrush Summit, and just anything that you can possibly go to meet and interact with other artists and people. You'll never know who you run into at these things. And there's actually recruiters there looking for people in film and games and all sorts of different places. Yes, yeah. Don't discount the portfolio. So you're not going to get anywhere if you don't have a good portfolio. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't end at the portfolio. You also need to kind of have a good network of people as well. If you're just sitting at home, not talking to anyone, but you have an awesome portfolio, that will get you far, but it will help you along if you also network and interact and meet other people and just, just talk to them. And yeah, it just goes a long ways. GDC is another one. Blizzard had a recruiting party that was really fun. They have a lot of parties at GDC if you can get into them. I'm not exactly sure how to, and then just posting your stuff on ArtStation, and then recruiters will see it. People who hire will see it, especially if your work is kind of in their same wheelhouse. People say, I've heard people say don't do fan art recently, and I completely disagree with don't do fan art. And the reason why is because, like, I witnessed firsthand, my friend Worth Daly, he's going to be at the Lightbox Expo with me this year. If you guys are going to go, you can come hang out, meet Worth. But Worth is he's an environment artist. He's a stylized environment artist, and he really, really wants to work for a company like Blizzard or Riot or something like that. And what he did is he made an Overwatch level. Essentially, he just made a fan art of an Overwatch level, and the recruiter and the people who hire at Blizzard on Overwatch, like, they came to him. They saw his stuff. They came to him. It was fantastic stuff. But they came to him and they're like, "This is amazing. You got to apply." You know what I mean? So instead of Worth like trying to knock down their door and get them to look at his stuff was just so good that they came to him. And I know it's rare, but it is possible. So, what are you saying? You have to be a part of the community you want to join, for sure. Maybe you guys already talk about ArtStation, but I assume it's the site where every company looks for artists. It is a very, very good site. They also look at Polygon and 3D Total, or there's a handful of them, CG Talk, but ArtStation is probably the go-to as far as art and getting into the different studios. Yeah, it's a fantastic asset to have. And the ArtStation always throws parties at GDC as well, along with Gnomon School. Have you ever been to that, Sean? Sean Bryant? I see Sean Bryant at CTN. That's where I met him. So, let's see. Yeah, also Ariel, you could do freelance as well. That will get you experience too. But you just got to be careful, because freelance jobs can be great and they can be crappy. So because there are a lot of people just thinking they can get work out of you for hardly nothing. It just depends on who it is and what they're looking for. There's a lot of like raw deals happening, I think, on ArtStation, when people just like message you on your ArtStation chat. I've had a handful where people are just like, "Hey, you want to come work on my thing?" And then I look into it a little bit more, and it turns out it's just like some younger kid with a good game idea looking for free art. You know what I mean? Like, I'll pay you when my Kickstarter funds and I get lots of money. And never ever do one of those ever. Oh, you're usually busy? Yeah, the Zebra Summit's really, really fun. It's they've been doing recruiting there more and more. Like Jeff from DreamWorks came down last year. They do portfolio reviews. I'm not sure exactly how you get in line for them or to be seen by them to give you a portfolio review. I'm not sure, but I know they do them there. And I think Joe Mena was doing some portfolio reviews there. I can't remember who else. But yeah, they do them. Oh yeah, yeah. It's very hard just to do, but it can be done. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of wait to do the back of this head. But essentially, I would just continue it along and kind of go up like this. I just want to show you how I would do the inside of the mouth. Okay, so we have the lips open like this, and we can just continue it on through here. And that's why it's nice to have half the head, so you can see right inside this head. And I might have to use quads. We'll have to see, because it likes it. Sometimes the points and faces likes to stretch across to the other side, and it won't grab the correct points. Yeah, see, like this. See how it's stretching across and kind of doing its own thing. Just putting it on the back side of that. So let's get the camera in here and see if I can work it better. There we go. Okay. One trick on freelance is breaking down what work you do on a character and pricing each step. Yep, for sure. That's a good advice. Definitely hard thing for me is judging what to charge as freelance. I've been wanting to do a YouTube video on that question, like what to charge for freelance, because usually it is difficult because it depends on what country you live in, for one, and even what city you live in for another. It depends on, because if you're in California doing freelance for a California company, your rates are probably going to be higher than if, like, say myself living in Utah, doing freelance for a Utah company, the rates would be different. So it completely depends on where you're at and what you're doing. And then it also depends on the project, how big the project is, how much they can afford, and what skill level you're at. If you're just starting out, or if you've been doing it for a while, that kind of stuff. And then basically the easiest thing to do, if you can get the company that you're trying to do freelance for to say, is ask them for their budget. If you say, what's your budget? And it's funny because there's a meme on this. I'm going to show you really fast the meme. It's pretty funny. Let me find it. Here it is. See this? What's your rate? What's your budget? It's like a showdown standoff, right? And it is like this a lot, because the client wants the lowest rate you're going to give them, and you want the highest rate from them, right? So you got to kind of figure out, something in between where you're both going to be happy. So, yeah, budget is always my first question. It's like, well, if it's a low budget, then I might not want to work on it. Also, that plays into it too. If it's something you want to work on and you're going to have fun with it, I usually charge less, especially, and you got to be careful with this too. But if you want to do more work with them, be careful about saying, you know what, I'll give you a good deal on this first one, and then I'll charge you my real rate on the next one. Never ever do that. And the reason why is because they will expect the low rate every time. Even if you say, hey, I'll give you my low rate to start with, and then they'll expect you to actually go lower. Like I've done some jobs where they're just like, but you said it was this rate. It was this is what I was expecting, right? And so never ever give them a low ball rate to start with because you want more work from them. Always charge what you want to charge out of the gate or higher. And if it's something you really don't want to work on, this is what Xavier is another character artist that works at Insomniac. I don't know why they have such so much to say about portfolios and what to charge about with freelance, but he says if you don't want to do the job, then charge more, like almost double it, because then if you get the job, at least you're getting paid a lot to do something you don't want to do, which, I kind of agree, but at the same time, this industry is small, right? So everybody knows everybody. And so the industry might be asking their friends, hey, do you know any freelancers that could work on this with us? They might think, oh, I would suggest this person, but they charge like double. So don't ask them. You know what I mean? You could kind of be shooting yourself in the foot. Right? So another thing is, Abu Dhabi, he wants to complete character for yeah. So that's another thing is you're competing with people overseas. Well, some of you might be overseas, but we say overseas, meaning like China and India, China and India, because their rates are so low, we have to compete with them as freelancers, and it's really hard, and it can run you right out of business. The advantage that you have over freelancers from China and India is hopefully you're English speaking, right? And typically the people, because I've had to deal with outsourcing quite a bit with Disney, and that was the hardest thing is their time zones. So like you would submit feedback in the middle of their night, and then you wouldn't get it back until the middle of your night. So there was this big time difference, which really sucked going back and forth. And then there was the language barrier breakdown, which was also another thing that was pretty tough to deal with. So even though the rates are extremely good, they're like almost 5 to 1 or higher, like 5 hours to your 1 hour as far as cost goes. So it was worth the communication breakdown, and it was worth the time difference, but we would only have them do like small stuff that we would not, this just kind of mundane stuff. So one advantage that you have is being semi-local or local, kind of hopefully English speaking, and that you can understand instruction well and get feedback and do feedback well. Let's see. And you can start charging hourly with a wage 25 an hour. I wouldn't charge less than that. I was just going to say, Sean, typically anywhere between 25, 50 on average for like California rates or whatever. I've done 50, and it also depends. You have to be careful with hourly, because if you're just starting out, you're going to take a lot longer than somebody who's been doing it for a while. So your hourly rates could be inflated based on how long it's going to take you, right? So I actually enjoy doing piece rates better than hourly rates. It's like, even with Blizzard, I would do like, okay, for this skin, because they wanted to do day rates, which is how much do you cost per day, right? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to keep track of that, or how, because I'm going to be working on this at sporadic times. I'm not going to be working on this all day, as far as day rates. I'd rather do a piece rate. So they actually worked out a piece rate with me. And a piece rate means just one price for one deliverable asset. So that's something else to think about, is just saying. And I do the same thing with Playful. When I do their poses, they'll have me do a handful of poses, and I'll just say, and no matter the difficulty of the pose, I would just give them a flat rate. I would say, okay, I'll do this pose for a certain price per pose. And like, just for ease of math, I just say $100 per pose. And then at the end, I'd be like, okay, I did 5 poses, $500, good to go. Also, you have to think about taxes in the US with freelance stuff. Taxes, they're usually, because you have to pay taxes, not the company that you're doing the freelance for, and that can get super tricky. So taxes will kind of surprise you at the end. So you got to make sure you're putting money away for taxes. And it's typically like, what do you save, Sean? Like 20% or something like that, just to be safe. It's like 16, 26. I can't remember. But as far as an hourly rate for personal budget or personal bidding, if they say I don't want to give you a budget, I want your bid. Okay, so how you can work that out is if you're brand new starting out, you can try the $25 an hour. If you're experienced, you can raise that up a little bit more, 50, 75, it depends. And then you can just kind of give you a rate, kind of give you a feel for how much you should charge, something like that. Have some friends, let's see. When I freelance, I do a per asset rate too. Yep. Because your work schedule's all over the place, for sure. You have your students to sort it out. Let's see. I always set aside 30% of my earnings just to make sure I cover taxes. Yeah. And again, that depends on where you live. Try to save 20 to 25%. And if you're getting paid here in the US, well, specifically here in Utah, if you don't make more than 600, then you don't have to claim it on your taxes. 600 for the year, not per bid. Like 600 for the year. So hopefully you're making more than $600, but starting to when you're starting out like that, it takes some time to get that stuff figured out. I mean, I've been doing it for years and I still don't have it figured out. So impressive that I'm retopologizing. Retopologizing takes a different part of your brain than talking. So I can I think I can multitask as far as these two. Don't tell my wife I can multitask, but I can only, because she wouldn't believe me. She's like, you can only do one thing at a time. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Okay. So right now I'm getting to the back of the throat where I want to start to merge these together and start to close them off. One thing I really need to pay attention to is where that center line comes in and goes down. So the center line of the corner of the mouth, I need to look through here and follow it back. Yep, see, I messed it up. So if I'm looking on the inside of the mouth, it looks like this one is the center of the lips where the crease is, but it's actually this one. So I need to nudge these down and make it make sense in the corner of the mouth and spread these out. Oh, geez, Sean. I have an assistant. No, that's really cool. I need one. I really do. But I don't, with the course stuff, I really don't do as much freelance as I used to. So thanks, you guys, for making that possible. Where is that held? Isn't that always overseas? I would love to. Honestly, I would love to. So, okay. Going down, but I think, isn't it in Europe somewhere, or where is it at? Okay, so I'm going to go like this because I think that's the center. Let me just double check. Yes. Okay, so that's the middle of the mouth, and I'm going to bring it across to here. If it'll let me. Come on. Oh, I need another point. Okay. Oh, okay. You pay to make my life easier. Oh, I wish there was somebody I could just pay to make my life easier. It's crazy. just the way taxes in the US work, I actually pay myself a payroll. Is that weird? Because it's just easier on taxes to do it that way. Okay, I'm chopping this up and I'm going to count. I think there's there should be the exact count count of loops across the top now as there is across the bottom, and they should all loop around and connect. And I'm going to connect them probably to right here. So I'm going to make this my corner right here. That's my corner. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing this invisibly, I guess, in my brain. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right here. So if I put this dot down, you can see I made a corner right there. See that? And then the next one will go like right here. And the next one right here. And then I can, after I have that in place, I can, let's see. So I need to raise this one up to make a corner so it matches. Okay, that's kind of weird. Something's off. Blendfest, is that California? Oh, in Vancouver. Oh, I would love to go to Vancouver. So I lived in Blender. So Blender is in Amsterdam, but I just wondered where they do their Blender Fest or whatever it's called, their little expo get together. Not little, it's huge, but house is maxed out and rent in Toronto is super high, but hey, I came here with $3,000 and 1-year work visa, and you got a job? Awesome. It was super doable. Sweet. Let's see, Vancouver. I'm trying to catch up. Here we go. You're from New Zealand? Oh, that's awesome. I would love to go to New Zealand too. Oh, cool. Cool, Sean. That's awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Based in London. Super competitive. They're super competitive everywhere, I think. So you're a hobbit. Aragorn, yes. All right. Don't beat yourself. Yep. Just keep at it. Eventually, someone should bite. Did I not have? Let me see. Something is up with this, and it's not. I see what's going on. Okay. So what I did here is I didn't make a mouth split ring. I didn't split it right here. So this is where it should split. Instead, I actually did 2 across here. So let me see what it does if I do this. Okay, that's gonna work. I'm just gonna split it right down the corner of the mouth like that, and then spread this out. Because as soon as I started to hook this up and it wasn't working, I knew something was wrong. That's when I knew. Okay. Let me just delete these again and I'll put them back. So right here, whoops, not that one. I'm going to save this. Okay. Yeah, that all depends on your portfolio. You need to tailor it to where you want to work and what you want to do. Because that's the cool thing about this industry is there's so many options, right? You could go into collectibles. You could go into film, television, video games. There's just so many things. My bird's going crazy upstairs. My mother-in-law has a conure. You guys know what a conure is? It's like a miniature parrot, and it likes to be loud sometimes. Okay, this is, again, it's not adding up. Why? I might have to redo this part. Oh, really? Let's see. How's it going on the industry in USA for foreign people? I'm from Argentina. I guess Trump don't want... Dude, Trump doesn't want anybody here. I'll just tell you that right now. Except for his fellow millionaires, you know. I gotta re-look at this here and see why it's. I think since I put this line here, it recentered the center. Yep, it did. So now this is the line right here that I need to pay attention to. That's why it was messed up. Okay. All right, we'll get there, guys. So I don't know what the temperature is as far as foreigners coming into the U.S. and working. I only know a handful that have come from different countries, and one of them was my friend Letitia from Brazil. And how she managed to do it was she got married. So that kind of helped her out. And I know not everybody can do that, but that's one way. Kind of sad, but true. Okay, let me see. I'm going to move this. And then there are some people like, I'll have to ask Sergi how he did it. And it depends on the company. If you have like very, very high skills, then sometimes the company will help you with your visa. I know that was the case with a few people at Disney. Okay, let's see if this adds up now. You guys are talking about Con Air and Nicolas Cage. What happened? I'm still talking about visas. Where'd the conversation go? Okay, let's see. Con Heads, Con Air. You got, the parrot did it. Oh man. I blame the parrot. Okay, let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. So I'm gonna have to split one more. This is a mess. It looks like a mess, but once we get everything in place, that's what the smooth brush is for. It'll smooth all this stuff out. As far as in Canada, and it was 6 months of, you know, you said hell, and YouTube like made me censor you. I had to approve your message. Oh, and send shit. A shit ton of work for the company, and a lawyer got the first time in my life. Nice. Okay, let's just finish sewing these together. And it's almost time, so hopefully we'll get this mouth interior done and then call it. And it's my daughter's birthday today. She turns 12. So she was out with my wife and mother-in-law to this little kind of crafty village place that's local. You can buy stuff to make crafts, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, Conure. I see. Conure. Oh, Con Air. Man, that took me long enough, didn't it? Jeez Louise. Okay, so now I have this mess of a mouth interior. We can do split rings. We'll add some more in here. Okay, and then we'll grab our brush, make it kind of bigger, and just go to town, smoothing it out and evening out all these quads, and it's still looking like crap. Conure. You guys. You guys. Happy Dave Born. That should be what it's called. I actually call it Happy Leveling Up. Good job leveling up. Because that's I'm a nerd that way. And I play games. So it's like, now welcome to level 12. Spend your points wisely. See, making bad geometry great again. There's another saying. It's gonna be, it has to be on a red hat. Making geometry great again. Smooth brush. CG. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. CG Art Station Challenge. Yeah, for the Arthur. So I would suggest, and I totally am behind it and condone it. If you want to, and it's funny because Gavin Golden is actually the lead host on that. So yeah, if you want to, feel free to post your work in progress in the community, and we'll get behind you and help you and make it happen. 3D Character Workshop. Does my wife play games? No. I know, Sean. I know. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I wish she played games, but yeah, she's too busy. Too busy being the mom, doing because my kids do online school because they're like me. They're ADHD and they get distracted really easily. And online school has been the answer, and it works really, really well. So she's doing all that, so she's doesn't have all the time in the world too much. Not that I have all the time in the world. Oh, you don't have Discord yet? Oh, Ariel, you should hop in there for sure. It's a cool thing. I've been enjoying. So I also installed the Discord app on my phone. That's why I've been a little more showing my face in the Discord more recently. There we go. So even out those quads. So you guys can kind of see what's going on here. I'm planning for the future of UVs. So not only do I have the rings around the mouth, but I'm also planning on a cut line going down here around the jaw and out, because it's like a face mask, like Face Off, another good movie, and just kind of planning for that. You haven't shown your face in Discord. Discord's cool. It started out as kind of a way to talk to your friends while you're playing games, and then it's kind of turned into like it's a good place to chat. It's a good place to have conversations that you don't necessarily want to have a big thread inside the community, so you can kind of take it offline over in Discord and just kind of completely chat about it. A lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to split in these rings now. Probably one more here. And then some around the eyes like this. And here. And one on the inside, something like that. And then it probably wouldn't hurt to do one down here, but I'm going to wait. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna finish this up offline, if that's okay with you guys. I just kind of want to show you how to do the mouth interior, how to do the eyes around the mouth, the rings, and the very, very important one is this one that goes up and around the nose and down to the side of the mouth. That one is one that you need to get in there in order for the deformation to work properly when they smile. Yeah, Lucky, that's true. So if you need immediate help, Discord is fantastic. You can post images in there, and I think you can post videos, links to YouTube videos, all sorts of stuff. And there's also, yeah, I'll show you the ear for sure. The ear is kind of secondary because it's hidden behind his chainmail. So it's just, though it'll probably have some triangles in there, not too crazy. But what I usually do is I start on this outside and then just kind of work my way around and then just fill in the inside just where it makes sense. And then I'll connect it in with these loops that are coming in like this. And then what I'll try and do is I will try and continue these, here I'll draw it on with the strokes. So I'll try and continue these lines all the way back and around like this with the ear interrupting it right here, and then it'll continue. So that's kind of what it'll look like when it's done. Yeah, Discord. The face seems kind of dense topology. No, not necessarily. It's, it could be lower, but based on the topology that Brendan's having me do as far as the density is concerned, it's about right for what we're doing. So I'm trying to do kind of a Horizon Zero Dawn-ish type density, or like Overwatch-ish type density. This is much higher than I would do for like a Disney Infinity character. Interrupting ear. Interrupting ear, says Moo. Okay, so if that makes sense, I'll probably put the ear right behind this row. Right here. Like that. So I'll probably have 2 rows. I just drew it with a mouse and it looked like crap. And then just kind of take these across. And that's where the ear will hook in, is right there. And then that's where it'll connect on the top. Let's hit enter. So, yeah, something like that. Let me grab the brush and just come back here and smooth it out. Easy peasy. Okay, let's go back. I just wanted to look at kind of the difference, what it looks like. The base mesh that I grabbed before. Where the heck is my ZBrush? Oh, right here. Okay. My ZBrush. I just wanted to show you the head that I have and what it looks like, because I think a lot of this is getting distorted because I stretched it around the face. But you can see that it has, so it has kind of these edge loops that are going around the mouth, but these are going in a total circle instead of down his chin. And it doesn't have, well, it kind of hooks in by the nose right here, but it doesn't go up and over the nose as well as it should, in my opinion. The ear is pretty nice. And then we have the eyes. The eyes are not too bad. Kind of similar to what I did. And you can see the density right here, but what happens in the chin is it gets very polygonal because the chin got stretched over this gigantic chin, right? And then the head is just kind of, the head is nice because it's kind of an accordion and it's being splayed out across his head like that. And it's less dense, but I think it's also not as effective. So it just kind of depends. There's no seriously right or wrong way to do topology as long as you get the loops in place for it, the deformation to happen correctly. That's really what, where you want your rings to be. You just want to have enough topology in there to be able to deform properly and to have a clear, clean silhouette that doesn't look like a stop sign, essentially. So anyway, all right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So thank you so much for hanging out today. Yeah, it's a lot more dense, but this is specific to this guy, so not too bad. And yes, I could reduce it for sure. I could totally reduce. Probably, in some of these verticals, some of these horizontals, I could really reduce it. So, so the loop around, let's see. So the loop over the nose doesn't need to wrap around below the lips. Not necessarily, no, because what you're looking for is like make all the faces that you can make and put your fingers on your lower lip and kind of go and see what it does, see what happens to it. It doesn't move that much. It stretches a little bit in the horizontal, and it can go vertical a little bit, but it's not doing any of this stuff, right? The smile line stuff. And your smile line actually goes out around past your mouth and down. So you can curl it underneath your lip, but it's not necessary. And I think that's why Hippodrome has his lines just going off of the lip like this and straight down. But you can see on this one is actually curling around the lips in a big, nice circle. So it's like two different ways of doing the same thing. And one way or the other, it doesn't matter really, because it doesn't deform that much. So yeah, you should be fine either way. Yeah, like I said, there's two ways to do it. You can do it either way. I've seen mostly nowadays the loop goes all the way around underneath the lip, and that's totally fine. I could rework this to make it do that, but it's really not that necessary. The one that goes up and over the mouth is the most important one. So, yep, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Yeah, we talked about a lot of cool things, freelance and all that kind of stuff. So we will see you on Friday with the Q&A session. So have a fantastic few days, and we'll see you then. Oh, one last thing. I'm thinking about streaming on my own Twitch channel every other Monday. So on the first Monday, I'll stream on Pixelogic's channel, and then I'll stream on my channel, and then Pixelogic's channel. And the reason why I want to do that is because I've almost hit 100 streams on the Pixelogic channel, and they kind of own all of my YouTube videos. So it's nice because there's a lot of people that organically discover those videos, but I also want a little bit more control over some of those videos. So I want to kind of go back and forth, and I think I can make my personal live stream a little more fun and talk about other software, things like that, and just kind of stretch my wings a little bit instead of being so restricted to just ZBrush, and talk about other things. And so I think it'd be a lot of fun. So anyway, I invite you guys to come hang out with me next Monday on my own channel. It'll be a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, thank you. Take care. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you Friday. Cheers.